Okay, I'm playing on this motor some more, figuring out the oil pump. I haven't made my final decision on what to do on the crank being all set. You know, me, I like to strip it all apart, cut the shaft, put it all back together again, and redo everything, but that's a lot of work. So I got to take everything completely apart, including the flywheels. So it's a few hours of work, probably at least 2 to 3. I checked the chain offset on the sprocket teeth, and you go like this, how much play you got in the teeth. And there's enough clearance on this and the other side to compensate for the 20 or 30 valve offset we got too much, so I can live with that. I can also cut that spacer wherever the hell it ran off to. The one that goes over here, the black one. I don't see it right now, which means it's probably under here. There it is. I can shorten this 20 thou, and that'll move the whole basket in a little bit, and that'll, between that and the chain, I should be plenty good. I checked the pistons for clearance up in here, and there's plenty of clearance in there for the piston to be offset a little bit, so it won't hurt it any. So the piston will be centered in the bore, and it'll be just off to one side, so there's a room it won't hit. If it hits on this, you can't do it. So the difference is not very much. It's, like I said, it's literally only about, maybe about that much, about 30 thou. Is the difference here is all we're talking. For 3 hours of work, I don't know if it's really worth it. So I'm trying to figure out the oil pump situation. Now this will not change if I do all this other work. It's still going to be a problem. So this gear will slide out the 300 thou offset between here and here. Which if you put a scale on here and measure it, we're about 300 right now. Just a tick over, but pretty close. So this gear is going to sit here no matter what. The shaft will go in, so the splines won't be a problem, but I already modified the cover over here to compensate for that by cutting that groove in there, or shoulder. So that's not an issue anymore. So there's no real reason per se to take this all apart right now, except just to make it right. But it'll work. So when I'm right now, I'm on top dead center over here on my flywheel, and my hole is over here. I'm one tooth off. It's either here or there. I need half a tooth, which I can't do. Now I mark my oil pump here on the side when it opens and closes. This is the later pump that has the better breathing timing on it. And I marked on here where it opens and closes also. So there we go, same spot. So the difference on this is this is wider. These are closer together, so this has got, it opens up more. This here is the breather valve that's in this pump right here. This has a narrow slot on it. This one in there is a wider slot. I don't know if you can see it, but it's about a ½ inch wide and down in there. Versus this one, which is only about 3/8 wide. So this has the racing breather timing built in. This one here does not. So I did a bunch of spinning the motor around to see when the valve opened and closed. Because when this valve opens and closes in here, it changes the crankcase pressure. And I can either make it open up early or late. So if I make it open early, it opens up down about here. Just past bottom dead center will open. If I wait, change it the other way, it'll be about way up here, almost halfway up. So it's about where the, right there. It's right where this wheel cutout is in the flywheel. So the difference is about this much in the piston height. Now when the motor runs, you want it to, when you go past bottom dead center, you want the valve to close, and then it'll start drawing a vacuum as the pistons are still going up, and it'll make the piston rings work better. So it'll also draw, it'll build up a good vacuum in here as the pistons are going up, and that'll help suck the oil from there over to here to this point. So when it opens, it'll blow across. Now you can either make the ring seal better, or you can make the pump scavenge better. You know, suck the oil from here over to here. So that's a toss-up on where you want that to be at. If the vacuum is all the way up here, and then it goes around about to here, and then it opens, that's about where the pump would open again. You still got a pretty good vacuum inside the case, and then you get all this windage is going to start going down this way, and you got all the blow-by will help blow things all the way through also. Because as you're going down, the vacuum is going to be sucking the oil, and as the piston rings have blow-by, it'll start pressurizing this cavity, and then it'll blow it through the motor and out, and that should make it scavenge better, I would think. If you delay it, then it would close a lot later, so it won't build up much vacuum, and then when the pistons go back around, they'll go a lot further before it opens going down also, so I don't think it'll work as good. So anyway, that's just by looking at things. So if you're going to be off, I'd rather have the hole going on this side than this side. So instead of being over here, I'm going over there. Now you also see how the breather valve goes down when you go backwards. When you go forward, it goes up. See how it rises up a little bit because this sucks up. You have clearance in the system in here. So this is going to suck up under load. So it's going to sit up high. That changes things too. Now ideally you want the valve to be right there, but that's not going to happen. I think if it was slightly this direction here, it'd be best. And right now we're about over here. So the way I can correct that problem is I can go here and cut this gear about 30 thou off of this, which will let this gear slide over, and that should help me. I might have to cut more than that, maybe 50 thou, to get any real movement out of it. Because you have a lot of clearance in your teeth here. That's basically your 30 thou. So how much are you going to gain? See, you don't gain much. It's a very minute change. So you're not gaining tons and tons of room here. Now this here was a little bit loose as I recall. Well, not enough to move. Let's see. Forcing tool here. Nope. It does not want to move. Alright. Figure that out. Military jet flying over. Okay, so I'm thinking that's kind of what I'm going to do. Now, I haven't put this pump up in there to see exactly what this breather timing is. That was the next thing I was going to look at. Kind of figure out what's going to happen with it if I had the other pump on here. So this has the better breathing timing, so that's what we're after. So I guessed what I want to do with this one, so now let's see what really happens. I also fixed the dowel pin that was sticking up on the pump here. This one was sticking up. I put in a hydraulic press and pushed it in further. So now it's below the surface where it belongs. Out of the way. Okay, this is our 72 pump. See, there's 1972 right there on there. So you know it's a 72 pump. Okay, let's get rid of a few of these bolts are in my way. Okay, so like I said, this pump is open. This whole time here it's open. Get a little on the table where you can see better. So you got this wide distance here, and it's closed right here. This pump over here, it's only open this much distance, and it's closed that much. It's about equally open and closed. See, that distance and this distance is about the same. If anything, it might be closed a bit more than it's open. So this one here, it's the other way around. You got this much here, and you only got this little narrow part here where it's actually closed. This one's open a lot more. So it's like having a high lift cam in there, a lot of duration. Same thing. The same effect. Okay, so now I'm going to put this up into here. Okay, TDC is about right there. Or not TD, but timing mark. Okay, goes backwards. There's where it's going to be. One more. and right about there. This one times pretty good. Why does this pump time and the other one doesn't? I have no idea. Like everything on this motor, it doesn't like me. Okay, so around a couple times. Okay, where's our mark at? There is our mark on the flywheel right there. Is about TDC. Is there a mark over there? I can't tell. I couldn't see that, so I don't know what you saw over there. Let's see where my hole is. It's toward the front of the bike where I like it, and right on time. So this pump is timed correctly. This pump here don't like us. They don't time correctly. So why is this pump off? I have no idea why it is off. But I happen to have another valve right here that we can probably use. Let's see if it makes a difference. Because this one looks good. And I don't have to do any cut on those gears, which I like. Not cutting gears is always better than cutting gears. Okay, now next thing I want to do, I want to check to see what was going to happen on our rod location. Let's see how this thing times in at. Okay, so it closes pretty far up. Okay, it closes way up here. It's about halfway around. Goes all the way around. It opens. This one's just past top dead center on that cylinder. So this pump being one turn off, one tooth off is about where this would time in at, if we had that in there, I think. Try this again. So, whoop, it's opening right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mark this here so I know. I'll mark this rod right here so I know. Okay. Actually, better than that, I'll mark the flywheel. There, I can see that better. Okay. Let me go back around, and about here's where this one's going to be at. Mark this again, and mark the rod again. Okay, so that tells me where they're at. So I'm going to take this pump out, swap it out, see where this other one comes in at. If the marks look halfway decent, I don't have to cut it. So this has a performance curve in it, so it's different than these old ones. Okay, where's our pump at? Okay, right about there, and tooth off. So all this stuff we don't normally have to do. This motor's just being a pain. Okay, comes around. Boom, there's my mark. Okay, we're right at half a line off. Again. Let's see. My mark at, let's see, mark is about there. Okay, so we are now on the line I put on the top of the rod. This is the other mark here, so we're a little bit retarded. We have to open up more than before it opens up, so it's retarded. No, it's not retarded, dumbass. It's advanced. It's closing early. Should close there, we close an inch early. Okay, let's go around the other side and see where the other mark lines up. way over there. And we're about an inch late. Half an inch further here, but we got about an inch over here on the mark on the flywheel. So this one here was closing about there. It's about where that mark lines up. It's actually a bit further than that. A little bit more yet. So yeah, we got a good fair amount of distance. So we're out of phase by about an inch on the rod. Okay, so now let's change it 1/2 here and see if it puts it where I need to be. Because right now we're off. So go ahead and drop this down and back it up, retard it 1/2. Back up. At about right there is my first spot. Okay, now we're exactly 1/2 back. Okay, so that was right here, right there in that spot. That's where it is. So we were over here. 1/2 puts me exactly right there. Okay, so now we're going to back it up until we're on this black mark here. So gotta make sure that gear is all the way up. Spin it around. There's our hole coming around. About in there. Okay, so we're pretty close to the mark I want now. That's about the same spot the other one was at. Now we go around to the other mark here. We're going to be way past on this side. Okay, so we're already way past the mark because there's my mark right there. So there, this mark right here is coming up here. It'll be on the flywheel too, right there. Okay, so where are we at now? See, we're not even close to that mark way over there. See, we're right here, and we need to be way the hell over there. Let's get way down this point here. So we're a full 45 degrees off because we went from this side to over here on this side. So that's way different. So we were good on this side here, but we were way the hell off this other way. So I think that's going to be worse. Good on one point, bad on the other. So closing is good, but opening, well, it doesn't open until you're all the way back down. That is going to cause a lot of crankcase pressure from blow-by, which will make the rings not work as good, which will help, which will kill horsepower. And when it does open, it'll be way down here toward the bottom. And by then it's so damn late when it opens, I don't think it's going to do much. So that looks worse to me. Okay, so I'm going to drop this back down and put the other one, put it back where it was. Check it again. Okay. Holes right there. Okay, so now we're back where we're at. Okay, so now the hole's on the other side. Check this again. Okay, we're coming around here. Okay, we're right at the top of this line, so we're a little bit bad on that side. In this other direction, we're going way past again. Where's the mark at? So we're a little bit better on this side. This one's over here instead of being way over here. So this one's closer to being more accurate. Still wrong, but So, not sure where I want to put it. Yeah. Moved it back, it'd be sooner. It'd be early here. It'd be late there. Yeah. It would definitely split better if I hit it the other way. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely need to move the gear more towards center. It's centering up the vents as I do it. If I have it way back here, the vents are way out of time. If I'm over here, the width of the vent is almost back where it needs to be, but it's still off. So it just has the wrong breather timing. So, alright, so if I use this valve here, we're going to have this problem. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do some different marks. Okay, we are on center right here. I'm going to use red this time. Okay, we're about right there. Right there. About in here. So it kind of shows you where the phasing is at. So you can see how these two marks changed by about 1.25 inches difference between those two marks. Where are the other two at? There's the other two. You can see these ones here are probably 2.5 inches apart. See, one's over here. They don't even fit in the bore. See, there's one. You have to back it up to get the other one. So it's way over here. It's almost 45 degrees. It's 45 degrees from here to center. We're not quite centered. So it's a good 35 degrees off. 35 to 40 degrees error there. Versus this one over here. You're only off by, it's 22.5 degrees to here. So yeah, we're only about 20 degrees off this way. So if we fudge it, if we move this, we can get it more equalized. Be a little more standard. But if we're going to run it, we run it in this location here. It'd be our closest to being the right spot. Definitely don't want to be toward the back. Definitely you're going to air it to the front like we are. Okay. Alright, so this thing was a pain in the butt to change all this stuff. Now, I did not change out these valves before. I don't really want to change a valve out. I think I'm just going to look at it. See if they have a hole in the same spot. Looks pretty close to me. The hole's right at the bottom of the slot there in the hole. This one's the same way. It comes straight down. So it looks like they're cut in the same spot, so I don't think they're going to change the breather timing by modifying this stuff at all. Now if you shimmed it down where it would stay all the way down and not pull up, that would keep it more closer, but that doesn't help us because I can't do that. So I think what we're going to do is a fine change and not really affect hardly much of anything. I'm going to go and pull this gear off, shorten it up, put it back in, and see what we get. Okay, I'll be back.